Well, we're here today with Travis. Been a friend since '05. Drafted him in '05, first round. Great Texan.
I was okay.
But there's been a lot of hurt in our country recently, but it's been here for a long time. And for you to come out and share your experience, I think I said it a couple of times, it's so powerful and it really hits home. And the hope is that we get the truth out there, that there isn't just one incident, that there's just untold number of incidents, and it's not right. And we just have to change it. And this is a good step. Hopefully it makes a difference. It's hard to change the world, but we can try to make our little corner better. And hopefully this is, a move in that direction. It's our prayer.
Oh, it's very meaningful, Travis. This is so helpful, and it's positive. I think, we're going to make a difference. We're going to get better.
I pray that we do.
I've got, 16 grandchildren and 5 or 6 great-grandchildren, so I need it to be right.
The Lord said, be fruitful and multiply, and you did that, right?
Well, Cal did half of it.
That's always a good thing. I mean, I got a lot of kids too, and I enjoy them. They bring so much joy.
Travis, why are you here today?
I'm here just because the Lord put something on my heart and to share with you guys. And we've been trying for years to change things. And, it's players and it's people that's been trying to change. And I really came because I respect you guys and I respect your family. And I look to you as a friend, and I look to you as a friend. I look to Miss Janice as a friend. And I was hoping and praying that this conversation would eventually help my son school my grandson and my great-grandson. And, it's very ambitious to think that. But, I believe that, you can, there's nothing you can't do with being together, you know what I mean? And that's, if it can change one person, if we only get to one person, it can move the needle just a little bit, because then more people get touched by us. So I just came to really just to listen to you guys and to talk and just fellowship, really.
Well, we appreciate you, and part of what we want to do is have talks like we had on the phone the other day, where we do listen more than talk, and we're searching, for truth and things that we don't understand. And as they get out, the hope is as they get out, other people will learn, and we can make progress as our country. Because right now, it's hard to think that we can change the country, but we can try to make Houston a little bit better.
Oh, no question.
And that's sort of where it starts. And if we can do that, then I think we're making a nice contribution. You're making a great contribution by doing that for us.
Everybody hears, racism isn't you aren't born with that. And it's a true statement. It's a true statement. You aren't born to have disdain towards the next man. You aren't born to have dislikes towards the next man. It's taught at some point in your life. Just like it can be taught to love and taught to respect and taught to appreciate the opinions and the thoughts of other people. And I think it's a good time, and it's a positive time when people are willing to change their household. They're willing to change from the inside, because you can't, we're a pebble. If you can drop that pebble in the middle of that water and hope that it eventually reaches the banks, it's going to eventually change everything. It's not, the surface is no longer the same, and hopefully it gets all the way down to the root of it and down to the bedline and creates that change.
And we'll make things better. We'll respect each other and learn to love and care and respect and get better. I just, it's what we all strive for. And
no question.
Appreciate you so much.
I've been fortunate to live on both sides of the spectrum. I live in Inglewood, California, which is, it's a gang neighborhood, if you call it that, but it's a more of a upper middle class in the black community at the time type of neighborhood. And I went to private schools. I wasn't gangbanging, but my parents decided at one point that we have to get out of this environment. I have to be able to give you the things that I know staying here won't give you. And that was to pick up and move 30 miles outside of Los Angeles to a place called Oak Park, which me and Bruce Matthews laughed about it this morning because I told him, it's 99.6% white. And I was, if it's 0.4 black, it was me, my family, and a friend of mine's family. So I got to experience the good and the bad. I got to experience the difference, when people truly care about you, the Christian mentality of, I love you, I want to see you do well, I want to see your family do well. But then I also got to experience people who just hate what they don't know, and they don't allow you to be you. They don't even allow a thought or a conversation. And I say that because I remember what impacted my life. Because you get a lot of fans, and I know a lot of people are gonna watch this. The first thing they say is, you don't have these problems. Y'all make money. Y'all did this. You play for the Texans. You've never experienced any of what the inner city is, so why are you complaining? And I laugh and I scoff at that, because I'm like, just because I'm here now don't mean I didn't have that same walk. Right. I didn't have that same walk of, I don't want to put it on Dr. King, but the same walk through Selma, of walking across that bridge and going through going through everything that you went through just to be able to vote, just to be able to do the things, that they're doing. And my walk is different than your walk. Your walk is different than my walk. And I remember at 14 years old, and I think that's what resonated so much when I watched this video, is us in our community, we've seen this going on for years. We've seen it going on for years. It's underreported, it's under talked about until recently. Why? Because everybody now has a camera in their hand. Everybody's now seeing what's going on. And, when we talked about it before, everybody was, it's not happening, this can't be true. And I say, well, it's happened to me before. And I was just lucky that this guy didn't kill me. And, and it's funny because my son overheard me talking to you guys, because I never told him the story. He almost like tears in his eyes, just trying to well up, like, what do you mean you almost died at 14 years old? And I told him, I said, man, son, we were coming back from a high school 7-on-7 event against Calabasas High School, which is in another predominantly white neighborhood. I said, it's me and my 3 friends, one of them, really me, my cousin, and 2 of my friends, and we're riding, and the only law that we broke was the unwritten law of having too many black people in the car at the same time, which they teach you that as a child of, when you start driving, listen, you can maybe have 1 or 2 friends, never have more than 2 people in the car at the same time. And it's a lesson. You're like, what you mean? I got a 4-door car that has 6 people. If I want to pack it in here like any other kid, like you were able to do when you wanted to go to the beach and you say, man, just pile on in. Well, we aren't allowed that. And when we're driving, we're leaving this game, and I'm in shorts. We have no t-shirts on because they're soaking wet from the game. And we're riding down Valley Circle Boulevard. And I never forget it. We're riding down Valley Circle Boulevard, the lights come on, and all of us are nervous, like, what went on? And the police walk up to the side and they knock on the window, and when I turn around, he pulled and drew his gun. Oh. And I'm sitting there like, and so now all of us are hands on the roof, like, what's going on? And they're not saying anything. They're like, get out the car. Well, my friend, his car has no door handles because they're shaved off. He's got like a little vehicle, they're shaved off. So now it's like, I'm trying to open the door, but he's telling me to keep my hands in place. And I'm like, dude, you want me to open the door or you want me to keep my hands in place? And so when I open the door, he literally tosses me around. And at the time, I've been this same height since I was 14 years old. I've been the same height since I was 14 years old. So my parents have always schooled me to try to de-escalate as many situations as I can with my sense of humor and and the way I speak to people. And it was shut the F up, listen to what I'm saying, turn me around, put handcuffs on me. Mind you now, this gun is 3 inches from my face.
And you're 14.
And I'm 14 years old. In high school gear, like how you have your Texas gear on, I had my Oak Park High School gear on. And slammed on the hood of a car. My friend who's driving, he's put in the back seat of the car. Mind you now, this is the middle of the summer in Los Angeles County, which it gets just about as hot as here. And I'm on the hood of this car for the next 30 minutes. My cousin and my best friend growing up, and this is my best friend because when I moved to Oak Park, this is the only other black family that lived there. So me and him have been together since we were 10 years old, are now all on the corner. I'm still in the hood, my friend's in the back seat, and these two are still sitting on the floor. And they also in handcuffs. And as I'm watching with my chest on this car that's burning me. And I'm watching as I watch my high school coach pass by in his car. As I watched parents pass by in their car. As I watched teammates pass by in their car.
And you just played a game with them.
I just played a game with all of them. And nobody once stopped and said, what's going on? Nobody stopped and said,
That's unreal.
what is this? What is the problem? Like, these guys are with us. These guys they live in this community. And all I could hear in my head was my father, because I was so angry and so hurt. And all I wanted to do, because I know I broke no laws. And it was, well, they said y'all were doing this, throwing rocks out of the window and flicking people off and cutting people off in traffic. I'm like, excuse me? We just left 7 minutes ago from this game. What are you talking about, sir? What are you talking about? Now we spend time ransacking the vehicle. Now they're going through everything. They're pulling everything out. And when they're done pulling it out, you pick it up. And I tell this story because all I can hear in my head is my father that always told me, no matter what, be obedient, no matter what. And he don't curse at me all the time, but my parents are from Panama, so he'd curse me in Spanish and be like, baby, shut the F up, make it home, and I'll deal with them.
Yeah.
Make it home, and I'll try to rectify the situation. And it was so hurtful because I'm thinking, these were my friends that I'm watching pass me by. And nobody stopped. And even if I wasn't your friend, if you didn't care about me, somebody just stopped and said,
Absolutely.
can I help you, sir?
Yes.
Because you look like he looks. So he'll have a conversation with you before he has a conversation with me. And I say that
Using
because
your privilege.
that was one of the reasons why I called you, was to say you have an opportunity to be that person that pulls over and says, he's with me. Or to say, how can I help you, sir? And to better the situation. You have an opportunity to change the narrative about everything that's been going on with our organization in the Houston Texans the last couple of years, because it's your show. It's like, Cal, I need you to pull over. I need you to help me, because you have the platform that I will never have. You have the platform that we in our community don't have many of. And the people who do, they always scoff at them. You know, you get somebody with money that tells their story, and like, you don't experience that. But with your help, we can achieve so much more. With your help, you know what I mean, we can try, even just that speck, you can try to get out of that. And I thank you for one, for listening. I thank you for pulling over, per se. You know what I'm saying? When you heard my cry in my voice.
It's such a powerful story.
We both have kids. We've got kids the same age. Our kids have, been around each other. I don't have to have the conversations with my kids you have to have with yours. No. Can you share with me a little bit about the conversations you have to have with your children?
The one thing having to grow up and being a large human being is my parents, and that's just even before being black, was cálmate por favor. Like, please calm yourself. Please relax. because we don't want to spook anybody. And that is the same message that every black parent, regardless of size or anything, has to teach their kids. You are putting out their thought process because you're saying, I have to allow this person to do whatever they want to do to me, whether it's legal, illegal, because God forbid I speak up, I'm gonna end up dying. God forbid I say something, I'm gonna get punched in the face with no recourse and taken to jail after they tell me I resisted arrest for something. Arrest me for what? You pulled me over for what? Because guess what? That time we got pulled over 14, you think we got a ticket? We didn't get a ticket for anything. Go about your day. Go about my day. I have to tell my kids, like, dude, you can't do what other people do. You know, you watch the TikToks, you watch the Instagrams, you watch the Twitters and all this other stuff, and you see folks that are completely going off on law enforcement officers. You see them going off, speaking a full mind. You don't see it from the black folks because they know better. Because every time we do see somebody speak their mind, they end up like George Floyd. They end up like Eric Garner. They end up like Ahmaud Arbery. They end up like, you have to always watch your tone. You have to always watch the thing you say. And I hate that because now I'm not telling my child to be who he is. I'm not telling my child to love people and express yourself and always be true to the person you are and always speak truth to power. And if I can't tell my son that, then I'm not raising him to be the man that God created him to be. I'm not raising him to be a strong, independent, confident black man, which it takes to be anything in this world. But at the same time, I want for him to be able to know if I sit down with Calhoun McNair 20 years from now, that he respects me the same way I respect him. You know what I'm saying? Not because we just happen to know each other since we was 4 years old, but the fact that I want for him what he wants for me. And that's to be positive, that's to be great, that's to be accomplish anything in this world you want to accomplish and be able to go and say whatever you want to say, you know what I'm saying, in this world and be able and be able to love my neighbor the way I would want to be loved, you know? But
that's where we want to get. That's where we want to get.
And I think this is a great start, man.
I think it's a turning point. I think people recognize what we need to do.
Well, it's so powerful.
With these things happening, it's just
right.
Heartbreaking.
So powerful.
Yeah. Okay.
What you're sharing, and it brings it home, and it's like it's here. It's not just out there, but it's here, and it's in people we know and love, and so it's a great opportunity to try to continue to make the world a better place, and you're being a big part of it.
Hopefully, it's a turning point. Hopefully, it's a change to the status quo.
Absolutely, yes.
To me, I don't know if it's the skeptic in me because I've seen different. I don't know if it's I don't believe it until you show it to me. Because time and time again, we've watched and we've seen, and we are, because these things have been around since camera phone started, 2002, about 2004? And how many things have we seen on tape? That we've seen what happened, and immediately they say, well, what did he do wrong? Why didn't you just comply? Excuse me? So I have to comply with an unlawful request? You wouldn't ask your child that. I have to. So my question is how are we going to change? Because some people see the video and we still see the divide right now. We still see the divide. And like you said, we can only control what we can control. We can only control our little community right now and try to make sure we can push it out to the rest of the world. But my question is how is it that somebody is seeing these things how is it somebody who's seen these things and still have the gumption, the nerve to say, why are you guys doing this? Like, why are you upset?
Yeah, it's been so hard for me. And we're going to make a difference.
Yeah, I mean, I totally believe that everybody wants to make a difference. I hope. But I know the thing is we as humans are, we sheep. You know what I mean? Like, and when we watched that video, we watched sheeps. We watched three other guys follow the lead of one person. So when we watch in this climate of today, and we watch our leadership in this country speak truth to the bigotry, speak truth to the oppression, speak truth to the I don't know what they're talking about. It's fine people on both sides. Like, no, there's only one side, right and wrong. I mean, we're two sides, right and wrong. So people are in this world, in my opinion, the sheep mentality of the human race it's scary because, I believe that you would have said something.
Oh, I would
But
have. Believe me, I would have been there. Yes.
But I also believe pressure busts pipes, man. Like the pressure of everybody else that looks like me around me is gonna fuel my decisions. It's gonna push my narrative. It's not my fight. That's that is, and we know that. Yes. You know what I'm saying? We know that it is your fight. Because if, Martin Luther King said, man, justice for some isn't justice for all. I mean, like if everybody don't have the same opportunities, when you ask the other day, like what can we do? You asked, what can we do? And they said, well, what is it that your community needs? And I said, food. And he was like, food? And I said, I speak of food literally and metaphorically because, we call it soul food. We call it food for the soul. And what it is not just being able to feed our children before they go to school, because we know the studies show you can learn more, you're gonna have a better day, you're gonna grow up healthier, you're gonna do amazing things if you can just have breakfast every morning. You know what I mean? But at the same time is what truly fuels your soul? Knowledge, like we talked about, knowledge is power. And if our schools aren't on the same level, if our inner city schools, if I go down to 3rd Ward and the elementary school in the 3rd Ward isn't the same like it is by my house in Missouri City, and those kids can't have the same schooling, then what are we doing? Because we are, like, the old cliche, our children are our future. Yes, they are. But you are giving them, if you can't give them a solid education, a solid foot to stand on, if the library, if they don't have a library in their community and they got to drive 30 minutes to go to a library to be able to just read a book, to be able to take them out of what they're in, then that's a problem. And it's got to be a standard. I understand there's the have and the have-nots. I understand that. That's what makes America beautiful. You know what I'm saying? I can make just as much money as I set out to be, or I can make as little. I can be a scholar. I can be this. I can choose. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, as a black man, as young black children in the inner city and all different walks of life, those same choices that most white America and most people have just by being born with a little bit less skin pigmentation than the next, or being born and not being descendants of slaves, is astronomical to say, I got 5% of things I can be, and you have 100% of these, or I got 5 things I can be, and you have 100 things you can be. In 2008, everybody was like, why are black folks so excited about Barack Obama being the president of the United States? I said, in America, in school, you were able to tell us, what the teachers tell you. You can be anything in this world you set your mind to be. And the Christian folks tell you, Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me, right? And we believe that. But in all actuality, we watched for hundreds of years where nobody looked like us. So guess what? That's not a true statement that you just gave me. Because obviously I can't have this job because I see everybody in this job don't look like me. And they won't allow them to look like me. So when we watched him do what he did, it spoke to us because now we can tell our children with a straight face. Because as a kid, right now, if Calhoun asked you, man, it said, I want to be president when I grow up. In all actuality, you say, man, you have a damn good chance to be president. When our kids are coming up and they say, man, I want to be the president. You say, man, that's cool, son. You want to be president? That's cool. Before Barack, it was like, you say, all right, son, why don't you try being a doctor or a lawyer, man? We get you to school, man. We can get that done. You wasn't able to, you couldn't tell your kids you can't do something. The word can't is banned in my household. If I hear can't or I cannot, you got to drop and give me 200. You got to drop and beat your feet on Pine Landing and get to running if you use the word can't or can't not. All I want to hear is, how can I get it done? I want you to ask me to give you direction. And that same direction that you give your children, I necessarily can't give them the same direction of mine. Why? Because they didn't have the same opportunities. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the beauty of this, is trying to reach across to our community and say, how can I help deliver resources? How can I help give you opportunities to succeed? Give you opportunities where if I get all these people, because your power in this city is on another level. Your power on this city is on another level. And I think you know it, Cal. I don't think you know it. I think you know it, but I don't think you know it. You know what I mean? Because people take your softness as a human being as a weakness. That's what they look at it, but I look at it as strength. You know why? Because I look like there's nowhere he can't go and be loved. Why? Because he's not some boisterous individual. He's a guy who's going, if you sit down with him and you talk to him and you learn who he is, you're going to realize he's caring, he's funny, and he's just downright a good freaking dude. You know what I'm saying? And I think that is the, to me, I can work with a good dude. You know what I'm saying? And what I would say to you, Cal, is I know that's the reason I called. Wasn't because I just wanted to hear myself talk, but it was because I know Cal's a good man. I know he's married to a good woman. You know what I'm saying? And I know
He is.
And I know that he'll listen, because I don't want nothing from you, Cal. And I know it's hard, like being the son of a billionaire, being a billionaire, being the owner of a Texans, being all that you are. People want from you every day. I want, I need. I know it's like being an athlete, being a player times 1 million. And I understand that, but I don't want nothing from you. I don't at all. All I want and really I can't even say that, all I wanted was your ear. I didn't want you to give me anything. All I wanted you to give me, to me, all I wanted was your time. And you gave that to me. And I respect that immensely, because to me, you didn't have to. And to me, I'm excited because even though subtly I see change. And I thought the video was phenomenal, to be honest with you. And people gonna nitpick and say, oh, you look like you're reading. Yeah, you're supposed to read, because I put thought into this. I'm supposed to read because I took the time to not just immediately put stuff out there. I took the time to say, let me find out where I'm going. Let me find out where the spirit is moving me. Let me find out what I need to know and what I don't know. And not only that, but then the promise of, we're gonna change this and we're gonna do this the right way. And by you saying that and by hearing you say it, now that's my challenge, is now staying next to you and saying, okay, Cal, what we doing today? To be able to hold you accountable to make sure you are the man I know you to be.
Well, we want to be the good Samaritan in your story.
No, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And I think you can be the good Samaritan in everybody's story.
That'd be
you know,
awesome.
and because of your platform, because of your reach, I really believe that it can change just our little piece. You know what I mean? Just like you can't, like you said earlier, and you can't change the world without first changing yourself.
This is going to be in the very fabric of the Texans. This is going to be in the very fabric of Houstonians, our fans. We want to spread that message.
When somebody goes to AA meeting, I said, is the first step they just all of a sudden cured of being, they just sobered first week, right? No. What's the first step in the 12th step of AA? Acknowledgement. You know what I mean? Acknowledgement. And I acknowledge that we haven't been doing it right. I acknowledge that we can do more. I acknowledge that I can help. And that's the first step of the 12-step process. Because in our community, we've been burned so many times, and we've heard, I'll do this, I'll do that. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, nobody ever even admits to it being wrong. It's saying, oh, they're like, oh, maybe that shouldn't have happened like that. But those are 2 bad eggs in the bunch. Those are 4 bad eggs in the bunch. Malcolm X once said, man, if you stick a knife in my back 9 inches and pull it out 6 inches, that's not change. If you put a knife in my back and take it out all the way, that's not change. When you start to heal the wound and you admit to me that you stuck it in my back, then we can change. The acknowledgement is a start. But the fact is, a lot of people don't even want to acknowledge the problem. They want to sweep it under the rug like you were as a kid, and your mama tell you sweep the kitchen up. You sweep it off into the corner because you don't know how to use the dustpan as well. You know, so I was extremely proud of you, man, because you put yourself out there and you didn't have to.
It's important.
Yeah,
It's important.
I'm glad, man.
We're proud of you. Give me a hug.
Oh man, of course. For you, brother.
Gonna mess up the
The
microphone.
microphone, of course, man.
Proud of you.
I appreciate you, man. I'm proud of you, and you know.
Proud of you getting
And
where.
and I know your mom was super proud because
It's
she's getting to see it,
Mama's
you know. Mama's boy, you know, because what is it, 7 of y'all, right? I mean, only thing proud of, man, I can only imagine, like, watching my kids, man, grow up to be the man you are, man. And I think that's every parent's dream, to just see their child be successful. That's the only thing you can do for your kids, man, is to allow them to be better than you were and allow them to see greatness in themselves and to see greatness in people. And it tears me up because I love children. You know what I'm saying? I love children. And to see people taint children at an early age, or to see what we saw and have to explain it to my children and explain to them what happened, that hurts. And that takes you to a deep-seated hurt, because you never want to not be able to help your children, and you never want to not be able to explain to your children the questions in life. And that's what hurt me more about what happened the other day, is the fact that now it's reached my household. Now it's me having to take the time to, not even take the time, but me having to watch my son have so many questions and be so confused, and me not to be able to help. And that was hard. That was hard, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Thank you.